Alright. 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 Welcome to Knights of the Old Republic 2. So, this game has a lot of stuff. This game has a lot of elements to it that the first one did not have. The first is that there are different party members you get based on whether you are male or female. And the second is that basically there's a couple of dialogue options where you get to decide if the character in the previous game was male or female. And based on what choices you make there, as well as whether that character was light side or dark side. And there is content later in the game that changes based on what choices you make in those areas. For this run, I will be going with the canon answers to all of those. The character in the previous game was a light-sided male, and my character in this game is going to be a light-sided female. So, I did a gunslinger for KOTOR 1. I did a gunslinger for KOTOR 1, but in KOTOR 1 there was a lot of limitations that basically maybe also have to go heavy force use as well. So that, like, you know, the bad guys could not deflect my blaster fire. Well, in this game there are a lot of feats that boost your abilities with blasters. So, I'm going to be going primarily... I'm going to be doing a blasters run in this one because there are feats that not only give you attack modifiers with blasters, but will also put a negative modifier on your opponent's deflection rolls. Okay, so... Alright, so I can do that, alright. Alright, so one of the other differences in this game is that the implants, instead of requiring levels of feats, will require higher constitution stats in order to be unlocked. And the other thing this game allows you to do is add different class skills with feats. I'm going to be adding repair as a class skill to start. And for this, I will just use my character's canonical name because there's like no big plot twist with my character's name like there is in the last one. So... Alright. Now the question is, will the setting I changed for this one catch the cutscenes? Well... There should be a cutscene right here. I'm seeing it. a cutscene coming through on stream or no? I don't think so. Oh great, don't tell me the game crashed. Alright, there we go.
Hyperdrive offline. Multiple hull breaches detected.
Okay.
Proximity alert.
I'll have to figure out a setting that'll catch the cutscenes, because telling it to catch the game specifically doesn't seem to do that, so I have to figure something out. Okay, here we have the prologue.
The Ebon Hawk is adrift in space after a terrible battle. Most of its crew are dead or dying. You lie in the medical room in critical condition. You won't survive long without medical attention.
It just says you won't, even though the text writes your character's name.
Must be restored in order to bring the engines online and dock with the nearby Paragus mining station for much needed repairs. Your fate and that of the Ebon Hawk depend upon T3M4, a lone astromech droid.
Okay.
Return to this location at any time to skip the prologue.
So I'm gonna continue it just once.
WASD to move T3.
Yeah, here we are in a badly damaged Ebon Hawk with a badly damaged T3M4.
Beyond this door is the main hold of the Ebon Hawk. This room contains a plasteel cylinder and the communications console. To target, you will come across many containers, some of which will be locked.
Alright.
This is the main hold.
Do not have spikes on it, so I'm gonna need to figure that out.
Your security skill is too low to. If you need help exploring the Ebon Hawk, access the map screen. This is the cargo hold. Talking to others. Note that some response. Furthermore, certain skills, powers, and attributes may modify what choices you have, or how successful you are with.
Yeah, this is basically just a lot of tutorial talk.
3CFD is malfunctioning. You can fix it by using a part. Search the ship to find one. If you repair, this container is locked and requires a key. Search the ship to find the key to this lock. The lock on this container is too difficult to open. You'll need to use a security tunnel. If you encounter a difficult lock on a container or door, you can use.
Alright, bunch of stuff there.
This container is locked and requires a key. 3C. Success. You have fixed. You chose a response that 3CFD is now a member of your party. To change which party member you control, click on the portrait or press tab. This container is locked and requires a key. Search the ship to find the key to this locker.
Yeah, the scene is basically just a tutorial with some of the basics of the game as well as...
This is the end. This door is... This is the garage. To access the...
Okay, yeah. Use mines. Okay, so...
This lift... While some doors can be bashed open or cut open with a lightsaber, this is the medical room.
So yeah. Stabilize my character's condition.
You have the med pack. Success. You are stabilized. While some doors can be bashed open or cut open with a light, this is the main hold. This old
Locker
woman
key, there we
appears
go.
to be dead. There is a key card on the body that looks like it opens the locker.
The
This is
localized
cargo
triggers. Computer spike, parts.
You use the
Droid
key
armor.
card
Sure, let's use the armor.
found to open the locker. The impact
And
marker
then this
from
bit
this
is a little
locker can be
combat
clicked on the
tutorial.
equip screen. To open the equip screen, sensor droids
Hey, Storm.
emerged from this box when you opened it. These droids, you can equip a weapon
So yeah.
from the equip screen. To open the equip screen, click on the blaster icon and your target by pressing or left click on the object you want. Good work defeating the sensor droids. To continue combat training, open the metal box again. This is the garage. This
So
is
let's go to
main
the
hold.
garage. Close outer. Open inner.
This is a work because of use.
Yeah, the workbench in this game is massively expanded from the previous one. There's a lot. You can create a lot of basic items like repair kits, medical stuff, that kind of. Well, the medical thing has its own station, the lab station, I think it's called. Why would it have been cut off? What? Why would it have cut me off like that? Okay, I'm not cut off. That's weird.
You can use repair kits to heal droids like yourself. To use a repair kit, click on the repair kit on the bottom of the screen or press R.
Why would it have ended like that? What the heck? It doesn't look like it's ended on my thing. While you? Close inner. Really? That's weird. Mine says it's still going on my side.
Use this lift to take you to the outside of the Ebon.
So yeah, we're gonna go outside of the Ebon Hawk because this way we can salvage some stuff to fix it. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's still going. That was weird. Anyway, let's do this. Alright. Okay, Vit, that backdrop looks absolutely epic.
starboard side of the Ebon Hawk. This busted engine port has some needed parts for the... This open hatch has some parts that will be useful for getting main power restored.
It's
These
kind of
exposed
crazy.
wires control the door to the starboard dormitory. Success.
Yeah, just gather some stuff from out here.
Don't forget to this is the ports. The bubbles ahead. Approach mines carefully. Recover. You can use the
Hey, now we have everything we need from out here. Let's go back in.
You can use
Go back in. The second droid is kind of just there as a party member tutorial. This whole prologue scene is just a tutorial.
This is the utility loop. This blast door is magnetically sealed and cannot be opened.
Alright, so...
This is the end. The store is down.
That's the other thing. You can blast those. You can use mines to blast open doors in this game, which is actually kind of cool.
This is the engine room. The starboard engine is badly damaged. Fixing it won't be possible. The hyperdrive, however...
Alright.
Success. The hyperdrive is online. Primary power. Only once.
Alright, we've restored power to the hyperdrive. Now we have to. Now we can try to go to Paragus.
This is the cockpit. You can now...
Paragus. We should have a cutscene here of us landing on Paragus. There it is. And here we go again. Loading.
The sensors show the door to the storage compartment is being sliced.
Alright.
There is someone, or something, else alive on the Ebon Hawk.
Oh crap, what's that? Alright, now we go to Paragus. Now we actually get to meet my character.
Awaken.
Alright, so there's other people here. Now. Alright. Yeah, I went with the Jedi Sentinel as my starting class because very skill heavy, kind of like the Scoundrel in the first game. And to use the expanded workbench functions, you need to have a lot of skills. In the first game, the workbench is just limited to like, okay, there's 2 different armor components that upgradable armor can use. There's 3 different components for a blaster, there's 3 different components for a sword, and then there's 2 crystal slots for a lightsaber. It's massively expanded in this game to like where you can build your own components, and as your skills increase, the more components you have unlocked to build. They're better, make your stuff more powerful. Anyway. Okay, so now we're gonna start to piece together what happened here.
Examining the survivors of the damaged freighter. Looks like it goes by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Only 1 survivor, placed in the Colto tank for recovery. The carbon scoring on the vessel suggests it was in a battle, but no indication of who fired on it. Couldn't get much from the Nava computer. I'm surprised the ship.
Yeah, carbon scoring doesn't leave much evidence that way.
Without the asteroid drift charts. Aside from the lone survivor, we recovered an old woman. No life signs. There was also a protocol droid and a utility droid on board. Sent both down to maintenance while security sorts through the other items on the ship. It looks like the utility droid, a T3 unit, was able to get the ship working enough to get to the colony. We're prepared to...
And it cuts off.
Could be a Jedi, but we won't know for sure until we get the transmission back from the Republic. If the survivor is a Jedi, that would account for the recovery rate. But I'm more concerned that a Jedi here may cause trouble. Some of the miners, especially Corta, are already Another accident today. A detonation in the ventilation tunnels. If the lockdown measures hadn't activated, the whole facility would have been destroyed. Got most of the injured to the Colto tanks in time,
okay,
but the rest had to go to the morgue. One of the wounded said a droid caused the accident, but we couldn't get any specifics.
Huh. So there was an accident in the mining tunnels after we arrived here. They had to activate the lockdown.
Miners about the Jedi. A number of the droids have been acting oddly, and not even memory wipes seem to be fixing the problem. There was a detonation in another one of the fuel vents the droids were working in.
Another detonation.
We deactivated several of them, and moved them down to maintenance. But we're still treating the plasma burns. That cuts us down to almost half shifts, and with the droids malfunctioning, we may not make the Telos shipment for this month. Fortunately, the detonation didn't cause a lockdown.
Warning. There has been a fuel detonation in the mining tunnels. Emergency lockdown commencing. All personnel report to quarters and prepare for emergency venting countermeasures.
No! If the ventilation systems are malfunctioning, evacuate the medical bay. Everyone evacuate.
Alright. So, the droids are going haywire. They're not sure why. And stuff is blowing up in the mining tunnels. And so now we just check the thing. We were patient number 3. We recovered. Everyone else is dead. Treat injury. Check last treatment request. But we don't have a computer spike, so we can't trace it. Unlock door to morgue. Okay, so we arrived. People started freaking out because we could be a Jedi. The droids are malfunctioning. And there's explosions in the mining tunnels. Plasma torch.
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead?
Recognize her voice?
Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been trained for such things.
Who are you?
I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine. Tell me, do you recall what happened?
I was on board a Republic ship. What happened to it?
Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. A result of your Jedi training, no doubt.
I'm no longer a member.
Your stance,
So, this
your
is...
walk tells me you are a Jedi. Your walk is heavy. You carry something that weighs you down.
So, this is our first hint at who my character is. I used to be a Jedi, but I'm not anymore. We have a troubled history.
So it would seem. Keep your past and let us focus on the now.
How did we get
I
here?
do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. A survey of the surroundings may provide the answers we seek. The ship we arrived in, the Ebon Hawk, must still be in this place. We should recover it and leave.
Yes.
We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily.
You got that right.
Without transport, weapons, and information, they will find us easy prey indeed.
Alright. Worried?
Even as I slept, I felt much unrest here. I saw strange visions, minds colored with fear. Now, everything here feels terribly silent. A last word of caution. I would find out as much as you can about this place quickly. I fear we will need to depart as suddenly as we arrived.
Okay. Anything else I should keep an eye out
You
for?
may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only for proper first impressions.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Know anything about
I
that?
do not know. Why did they spare you?
They didn't. I got the same dose.
Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you unconscious for some time. It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. Most curious.
You seem to know a lot about Jedi
And
techniques.
so do you. Perhaps we could discuss it at length later on. Now we have other concerns, among them finding our new enemy.
Okay.
I leave you to the explorations of this place. Here I will remain and attempt to center myself.
There's a lot about her that you don't know yet at this point in the game. When she says center herself, there's more to it than just a quick meditation. She has very, very fascinating beliefs and philosophy that we'll get into more later as we get later into the game. Okay, so this is a one-hit anti-door weapon, pretty much. Literally just exists to get you through broken doors.
Overridden.
Vibro cutter, which is a sword. That's actually a restored content thing. So I have a few mods installed. I have the enhanced merchants. I have the second game's version of the enhanced merchants mod for this, similar to what I had in the first game. And then the other one that's really important to bring up is the Sith Lord's restored content mod. This game was released in this game had a very rushed release schedule, so a lot of content was cut from it early on in development. A lot of content was cut from it, period. And so it was released in a rather uncompleted and glitchy state. And the restored content mod basically, one, brings back a ton of content that was removed. so that the game just feels more complete. All the other mods I have, other than that one, are like graphical sound effects improvements, that kind of stuff. In fact, you actually, as you watch me play, you're seeing the effects of one of them now. I have a modern camera style mod. Alright, here we go. We have a gun, which is exactly what I want. Gunslinger. The other thing about this game is that like the way you develop your other party members is different than in the first game. In the first game, you basically just unlock the next level of conversations through leveling up with a level check. In this one, there is a system of each character has a very well-defined personality and likes it when you do certain things and dislikes it when you do certain things. The game explains it to you in a dialogue bit later. So there are points where it's worth it to make a slightly dark-sided option just to help develop your other characters. It's worth it to make a non-alignment based choice just for that reason sometimes. Alright, we have another security terminal. Check security records.
Is this thing on? Alright, all hands, especially you, Corda. Listen up, because I'm not gonna say this again. The next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of military-grade frag weapons into my facility is gonna take a long walk out the airlock. Why? Because in case you forgot, Paragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. That's what blasted that chunk out of Paragus 2 and created this asteroid field. So if I catch any of you with anything other than sonic charges or mining lasers, I'll burn you and your contract. Security out.
So some people are trying to smuggle stuff onto the station that's a violation of, what's the word, protocol.
And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one set by a mining droid. The three idiots were grouped so close to the charge it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see what happened. I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just Corda and his miners, or the fights, but now the droids are acting crazy. If we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility's gonna be space dust by the time the next Telos freighter arrives.
Mining droid maintenance.
So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what's going on with these droids.
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilation tunnels, I could just close my eyes and pretend it's my imagination. You better give me some answers. I want to know the damage these droids can do if they start mining us instead of asteroid rock.
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters. I doubt those droids could even hit one of us.
Are you blind? What about the miners in Medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't going to sell the Jedi to the exchange.
To the exchange, huh?
How these droids are being sabotaged.
There's actually a lot of important plot information concealed in these records, so that's why I'm playing them.
In the meantime, make sure the security's armed with all the ion and sonic charges you can find. If those droids start coming after me, I'm gonna need more than low-grade mining lasers to take them down. Clear?
Yes, sir. Maintenance control out.
Idiot.
Idiot. Administration console maintenance.
I installed an override switch to shut down any droids on this level, just in case someone locks me out of the administration console. As added insurance, I tied the override switch into the circuit to the holding cell door. It'll make sure it can only be opened if all droids in the level are shut down. I doubt Corda or any of his men have the skill to pull off something like this. But I'm not taking any chances while we're sitting in the middle of this asteroid.
Seems like nobody
minefield.
trusts this Corda
Whoever's
fellow.
responsible won't be able to have the droids rescue him after I lock him up. Nothing will cut through that door. He'll be trapped.
Ah, hello. Security storage.
I secured the stealth field generator inside one of the footlockers in the security storage room. If I have the specs right, the interface field should be effective against the droid's sensors. All I need to do is equip the belt and some skill with stealth in order to use it. As long as I don't get too close to the droids, they shouldn't detect me. If any more droids start malfunctioning, the belt should buy me enough time to get to the override switch I set up in the communications blister console. I'd rather shut them down than destroy them. I want to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. Maybe even turn them against whoever's sabotaging them.
So that guy seems like a pretty good strategist. The problem is he ends up... Yeah, this is the office I'm in. There's some droids. Communications. Ooh, there's a guy in the holding cells. Alright. Did I loot this guy already? Oh yeah, that's right. The other nice quality of life change this game has is that it'll tell you
There is much energy in the
when a
room beyond.
lootable thing
It
has nothing
extends
in it,
from
so you
nothing
don't
but
like try to
bliss.
reloot things. But yeah.
Can you not sense them? Reach out. Cast aside your sight. Cast aside what you see, and instead reach out with your perceptions. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive, but the small oscillations of energy, that you can feel, echoing outwards.
So here we see evidence of a theory that I've proposed, that this character is actually a master of a force ability called Deku Duru. Deku Duru. Ooh, an ion grenade. Let's use that.
Ah.
Like the sedative
It
for
is
work.
the force. You feel it has not been so long as for you to forget.
Alright. Doesn't feel like it did. Great
Do
distance.
not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come. I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to survive and escape this place.
Yep. Got it. So we got our first level up. So my repair is always going to be a little bit behind, but at least I have it, right? Anyway, force abilities. Sadly, I can't open with this. That would be nice. So I am gonna start with that. So the build I'm going for is not a super force power heavy build. I'm going for the gunslinger build. Requires a lot of buffs. Move faster, shoot more accurately, etc. Nice. Wow, I'm getting good damage rolls on this run. So, I'm gonna go around here and loot some things. Yeah, as I was talking about, Mekuduru, it's a force. Normally you can't sense droids in the Force the same way you sense living beings. So what Mekuduru is a technique that allows you to sense technological oscillations. It's actually a pretty common belief in the fandom that Anakin has a talent for Mekuduru, evidenced by the fact that he built an entire freaking protocol droid when he was 8 years old. Alright, we're all... I believe there's some droids up this way, so I'm gonna get those just for the experience. This game doesn't have a level cap like the first game does, so you want to get experience at every possible point so you can just explore more opportunities. Alright, now we get to the override switch. That guy told us about an override switch, so activate it. Log out. Now we took down all the droids, so now all there is to go in there.
Beyond this door, someone yet lives. Be mindful.
His thoughts are difficult to read. There's a reason for that we'll discover later.
But you have nothing to fear from this one, and he might yet prove useful.
This guy's funny.
Are you an angel?
Oh my gosh, the Easter egg line!
I'm just kidding. That's the worst line I've ever used. Hope some poor kid doesn't start using it.
That's a reference to Control 1. I'm sorry, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. But like, he's supposed to make a joke about how I'm walking around in my underwear. He's supposed to say, "Nice outfit. Did you change regulation uniforms while I've been in here?" But my dialogue options don't change here. Tell me who you are.
I'm Atten. I actually wasn't supposed to make it into the final game, but I was created at the last minute. Blame my agent.
Ah!
I was actually slated for a spin-off to Jedi Knight, but I don't want to talk about what happened there.
Alright, so basically what he's referring to there is, again, this is an Easter egg that happens if you've beaten the game so many times, which, of course, I have, because I am a loser who has played this game way too dang many times. To the point where every planet we go to, I could talk you through all the side quests without even showing it. But what he's talking about is that he apparently was not originally slated for this game, and he was created to fill some roles, and it actually had his character development written up. But his name is Atten Rand, And that name was originally planned to be used for the main character in Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
Security claimed I violated some trumped-up regulation or another. Take it up with them if you want. But they stopped listening to me shortly before they stopped feeding me. Now that's criminal.
Ah! What happened?
You mean before or after that Jedi showed up? Either way, it's a real short story. You see, this Jedi shows up, and you know what that means. Where there's one Jedi, the Republic will soon be crawling up your ion engine in no time.
Ah!
But the story gets better. See, some of the miners get it into their ferrocrete skulls that since the Jedi's unconscious, they can collect the bounty the exchange has posted for live Jedi. Well,
Bounty for a Jedi, huh?
Didn't like that idea. So the two groups started fighting. Then there was some big explosion. I was sitting here for a long time. Then you showed up in your underwear and things got a lot better.
This is your first hit. This guy is kind of perverted. There's actually a bunch of dialogue later that's really funny. There's a bounty?
Don't know much about it. Maybe the exchange wants one as a trophy, or somebody's got something against Jedi and is looking to collect. Not many Jedi left. Wouldn't surprise me if the bounty's pretty high.
We'll actually find out why there's a bounty on Jedi later. Like, when you have there's a bunch of these plot points that are set up in the vanilla game, but aren't followed up on, so you're like, but why did that happen? Why did that happen? Well, the restored content mod really fixes a lot of that and makes everything has setup, everything has payoff, you know, like a good game should. What happened?
The ones that weren't killed in the Jedi Civil War ended up switching off the lightsabers long ago. Word is there's not even a Jedi Council anymore, but who knows?
Yeah, he doesn't know. A war?
Yeah, Revan, Malak, and the Jedi that went to join them in the Mandalorian Wars. They turned against the other Jedi and had a scrap that almost laid waste to the galaxy. Where have you been?
I've been away since the Mandalorian Wars.
Well, I wasn't there, but like all Sith, Revan and Malak turned on each other. After they turned on the Jedi, of course.
Alright, so now this is kind of a spoiler bit for the first game, for the plot twist in the first game, so spoiler alert here. But I've never played Mass Effect, but I've heard that game has a system where, like, if you played through the first game, the second game will read the first game's save file and pick up your alignment from there. Well, this is kind of a similar thing where you use this dialogue to say, my character was a light-sided or dark-sided male or female. Revan saved the Jedi and the Republic.
I guess. There's rumors all over space about it. All I heard was Revan returned to pay Malak back for trying to kill her in the first place. You know women.
Revan was a man.
Maybe you're right. Maybe
Which
I
is
just hoped
canonical.
Revan was a woman. Look, not like your half-naked interrogation isn't a personal fantasy of mine, but... Hey, wait a minute. You're that Jedi the miners were talking about. Where is everybody?
I don't know. The facility is abandoned.
The miners can't all be gone. But if they are... Look, hey, let me out and I can help you. I can. I've gotten out of trouble countless times.
Alright. Tell me your plan and we go from there.
This facility isn't a military installation, which means we may have a chance. You shut down this cell security field and I can reroute the emergency system so we can get to the hangars. We grab a ship and then we fly out of here.
So, like, if you didn't get the Easter egg dialogue like I got here, like the bit about "Are you an angel?" that whole bit, he said something kind of funny about how he'd offer a handshake, but the field causes mild electrical burns. Patients in medbay were killed.
Huh? What are you talking about?
You know anything? You don't.
So you done interrogating me, or are we gonna work together and try to get out of this mess?
Yeah, basically you're forced to let him out pretty much.
Great.
All right.
Now to business. Let's get to the command console.
Let's go.
All right, here we are. Now this console is set on automatic hail. You may have heard it when you came in. The asteroid drift charts are constantly being updated, so it sends out a transmission to incoming vessels so they don't get crushed into space dust. The hail warns them to keep their distance until orbital drift charts are transmitted, and then provides docking instructions to incoming ships, usually freighters. Thing is, you can bounce that same transmission back to the comm here, and suddenly you've got access to the communication system from the inside. Pure Pazak. The console's ours. Now, all we need to do is reactivate the turbo lifts, cancel the emergency
My question
lockdown,
is if
hey,
you communicate. I actually want to know if any like real world communication systems work that way. What's wrong?
this system's been severed from the main hub, after it was locked down from remote. You can't even reroute the system, it's been cut clean.
That would be standard procedure.
No. Someone tried to lock down this whole level tight, and leave us here. Trapped.
Anything else we can do?
I doubt it. All we have is communications back. For all the good trying to shout in a vacuum will do us.
We contact the
We could
miners?
try. But if the miners were trying to trap you up here and probably kill you, why not call them and chat? I don't think a friendly call is going to wake them up.
See if we
Be
can
my
reach someone on
guest.
the comm.
Not much else we can do.
So, I'm gonna have the same rule with this game that I did with the first game, is that if it's important to the plot, if the dialogue is important to the plot, I'll let it play. If it's a side quest kind of thing, if it's important to the plot or character development, I'll let it play. If it's just like a random old side quest, like there's a particular side quest I remember it's on a later planet with these two merchants having a feud, they'll just skip and summarize. Let's check these logs.
Tracked the freighter in. Was lucky it wasn't destroyed when it drifted into the asteroid field. Not much on board. One damaged droid, one annoying protocol droid, and a lot of bodies. Sent the survivor to medical and the others to the morgue. Didn't recognize the ship's ID code, so we transmitted it to the Republic for some answers. Questioned the protocol droid about what happened. Says his master, the survivor, I guess, was on the Republic ship the Harbinger when it suffered an engine failure. He says the survivor was a passenger on the vessel and a Jedi. If so, that's gonna mean true.
Double.
Inventoried the bodies and cargo. Everything matches the protocol droid's story. The T3 droid had seized up, so we left it in storage in standby mode. Don't know what code will access it. It could be it's voice activated for all we know. We put the protocol droid to work in maintenance, sorting the mining droid comm routines and updating the recognition sensors. And to shut him up. When the survivor recovers, hopefully we can get him off this station before there's trouble between the work shifts. Word of the Jedi leaked out and the miners aren't sure what to do with her. Quarter's mining crew wanted us to collect the credits for the bounty the exchange has on Jedi, but I put a stop to that. We're contacting Telos to get the Republic records on the Jedi, but nobody will know word from the Republic. But I've sent out a broadcom transmission for records on this Ebon Hawk. One of the miners said it used to be a smuggling vessel. Accidents are making the miners restless. The droid behavior course must be undergoing some kind of binary decay. 2 miners were drilled by a droid's mining laser, and those blasts in the ventilation tunnels nearly caused the whole facility to blow.
Alright, so protocol droids show up and things started going haywire. Huh. Anyway, comm system. Dormitories? Hangar bay? It's T3! Operational? Besides the turbo lifts. Rather risk it. So now we're gonna take T3M4 and try and find a way off. All right. And those component items are what you use to build stuff on the expanded workbench. The shock arm is your best weapon at this point. If you guys remember the first game, the Ebon Hawk was stolen from Davik Kang and it was a smuggling vessel. Ooh, some decent gear there. Oh yeah, I remember what to do here. What I tell you, that shock arm is... I want to give my character at least 1 point in demolition skill before I get to a certain point, because there's like a thing I can break into. Is if you have at least 1 point in demolition skill, you can plant mines. Now we have some droids with shields. Might have a problem here. Alright. We're good. Almost went down there. Alright. There's the guy from the ship. And now we've got this stuff we can open up. A Vibro Sword. That's a nice loot drop. This early in the game, that's a pretty sick loot drop. A blaster rifle? What? Some of these loot drops make very little sense. Like, I once had a run where like I found a droid oxidizer weapon in one of the dormitory rooms, and like that just like made the entire thing so freaking easy. Did I open this one? Yes, I did. How could I suck so terribly at this game, even though, like... Now we have the Ebon Hawk! We're almost there. Or so you think. Replace the missing part. Run diagnostic of damaged system. Emergency subsystems rerouted. To fuel depot terminal. Failure. Control conduit removed. Gee, I wonder why that specific one is removed. Oh yeah, it'd be too easy. So yeah, we're going back to the upper level of the fuel depot. Forgot about the ion striker. Blade repulsor. Ooh, armor. Not insanely good armor, but armor. Alright. Get over here. System log. Series of explosions with the facility has enacted an emergency lockdown. Someone sliced into a fuel depot confused and created a phantom fuel tanks. A phantom fuel leak, sealing off the area with force fields to contain the quote-unquote blast. Open emergency hatch on the administration level. Now we get to be really Starky to Atten. This is pretty funny.
So, how long have you been a Jedi? Must be tough. You know, no family, no husband.
No tougher than enduring your full sympathy while you're staring at my chest.
Hey, I wasn't trying to...
And it opened.
Hey, what do you know? A little cargo cylinder came through.
Looks like it, but it's strange he didn't contact us on the comm.
If he got the turbo lifts working, then we should have a clear run to the hangar.
Turbo lifts were locked down, so yeah, had him open the emergency
Wait,
hatch.
Don't tell me you're taking that hatch down into the mining tunnels. Are you? That explosion I heard came from below. There's probably nothing down there except superheated rock and collapsed blast tunnels.
Maybe, but it's the only way out.
You're either really brave or really crazy, or both. Alright,
Once you learn a little bit about my character's backstory later on in the game, you'll see it's both.
So don't be playing hero too hard. Not that I care what happens to you or anything. I just don't want to be trying to get off this rock by myself.
Of course.
I'll keep the comm link open. I may be able to guide you through the tunnels from up here.
Alright. We will be able to figure out who sent the dose later. The dose of the sedatives. Yeah, the Paragus mining tunnel.
Can you read me?
A lot of static.
There's a lot of interference down there, probably caused by that explosion.
Yep.
Still, it looks like there's a route down to the Paragus fuel depot. If the passages haven't collapsed, that explosion knocked out most of the sensors. There should be an emergency crate in the next room. Watch yourself. There's a lot of droid broadcasts in that area, but I can't pin them down.
I'll be careful.
Will do. And be careful.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've got some gloves now, which is really funny that the droid picked those up. I'll just use this for now. Even if I'm gonna go full gunslinger later on, this thing will be nice. You could tell there are points later in the game where they really, really, really tried to make it.
Emergency supplies?
There's some clothes in here.
Damn it. Well, I mean, good to hear it. No sense in you running around half naked. It's distracting. I mean, for the droids.
Yeah, the droids would totally care, yeah. This guy's hilarious.
The survey gear is designed to spot and protect you against sonic mines. And the safety harness can be helpful if you try to...
Alright. Anything else?
Just one more thing. I've narrowed down some of the ID signals, and if the numbers are right, you're sharing those tunnels with a battalion of mining droids.
Don't worry, I've got a blaster rifle that was up here somehow, so I can handle it.
There's gotta be some central control.
Mining shield is specifically a heat thing, so... Like, that blaster rifle, though, that's it's silly. It's silly that one of those loot drops is a blaster rifle.
Watch where you step. If you have...
Yeah, he's telling me to watch out for the mines. Opponent's parts. Both are always welcome. Valor. Engage patrol mode. Yeah, now this thing's gonna fight some of the droids for me. It doesn't go super far, but... Wasn't he helpful? There's some maintenance droids later on that are really annoying. Oh my gosh, I got a full-on blaster rifle on freaking... It's just so silly. Oh wow! Ooh, ooh. Skills. Get me some demolition. Alright. One demolition point, that's all I need. Alright. Because I want to be able to use some of those mines on some stuck doors later. Powers, powers. Can't get this yet, this will be key. Give me a second here. I don't know why the thing keeps glitching and saying the stream's over, like, it's not, like... Advanced mining laser. Ha! That's cute. That's normally like your blaster rifle, quote unquote, for this level. A lot of shields, wow.
Hey, watch out. If you can find a mining energy shield.
Yep, I got it. This has got to be one of the dopiest loot drops I've ever seen here. This has got to be one of the dopiest loot drops I've ever gotten on Paragus. Like, the moment the shield breaks, bam, it just dies. Is the safety harness enough skill boost for me to recover these? I doubt it. Oh my gosh, it is. That's kind of crazy. Oh my gosh, an armor upgrade. Stuck, there we go. And now we're in here.
Something big. I think it's the main ventilation shaft.
All right.
So the central droid controller should be somewhere nearby. Keep an eye out for it.
Yep.
I'm picking up a lot of droids. If you still have a mining energy shield,
Understood. There's actually a bit here that if I'm able to hack this computer. Other droid surviving protocols. Yep. Yep. And now I have the droids breaking down doors. Fuel containment. Shut down the fields. And now the droids are gonna fight each other and break down doors. Yep, beep. See, the droids are all shooting each other. Isn't that great? There's one of those improved effects from one of my mods. One of these areas. I'm just tearing these droids apart with this frickin' rifle. One of these has a route to a... Is this it? Ah yes, this corpse. The heavy mining laser is not any better than what I currently have, so I'm just gonna keep this blaster rifle. It's kind of silly that I got that as a loot drop here, like you... Readings.
The containment fields in the mining tunnels are shutting.
Yep. How much time do I have?
You may be able to keep it contained until you get the turbo lift to the fuel depot, but not for much longer. I'm locking down the turbo lift to the administration section now to keep the blast from spreading. If you've got anything left to do down there, make it quick.
Yep. I thought my character in the first game could do everything. Wait until you see what I'm building here. Ooh, level. Ooh, another attribute. Get some const. I'm gonna do this. So, because there's a thing later, you'll see why I did that later. Because I can pick the more useful skill to upgrade when I do that one. Alright, let's see what we got here. None of that yet, no healing yet, so... Getting all these buffs for later. There's a power you unlock at the end of the game that activates all 3 of those abilities at once at the level you have unlocked. And it's incredibly useful. So it's incredibly useful to build them early, and even then Valor and Speed are kind of nuts, especially... Well, they're nuts, period, like... Turbo lift to fuel. And there's the maintenance officer from the recordings we saw earlier.
Greeting. It is a pleasure to see you alive, Master.
Huh.
My receptors are
Droid.
not off focus. How may I be of assistance?
I'm not your master.
Answer. I am a survivor of the Harbinger, just as you were, Master. With the unexpected termination of my previous master, you are the only organic which I may now serve.
Huh. Who was your previous master?
Answer. The captain of the Harbinger, Master. I was in transit to Telos to facilitate communications and terminate hostilities. However, we did not arrive at our intended destination.
What happened?
Irritated answer. Oh, Master, it is such a long, dull story, and not terribly relevant to our current situation.
Why don't you tell me anyway?
Hesitant explanation. That has been the subject of considerable discussion since our arrival here, Master. Many have attempted to claim you and this unit as salvage. I was crudely interrogated concerning our brief history together on board the Harbinger, before its communications, weapons, and engines suffered the cascade failure that disabled the ship.
Oh my gosh. I shouldn't have to send him the link every time.